Good morning, everybody, and a happy Tuesday morning to you. All right, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, below 15 minutes, hopefully. But as usual, there's a lot in here. So let's just jump in and get started, shall we? Let's go. All right, really quickly, I got a fabulous letter from a subscriber in Ontario who pointed out that she was sending me something she saw. It was a puff piece, but she said this gave her the chance to practice her calligraphy. Oops, she meant her cursive penmanship. Oops again, she forgot the Marco loop. But here's what was in her local paper that she sent to me. Meghan stirs the pot. Oh my goodness. I love getting stuff like this. Thank you so much for sending it to me. All right, let's jump in now to our regular program. Let's start off with Zara. This past Saturday, they had the Grand National, which is a very famous race held in Aintree. And guess who was named as the best dressed? That's right, Zara, looking gorgeous. Good for her. Let's keep moving on. Next up, King Charles. You guys know I work a day behind. So as you are reading this, King Charles has landed in Rome already. Remember, he's going to be in Italy this week with Queen Camilla. He is in Rome. I loved it when I was there. Let me just say that what's being reported is Italy was never in doubt. What the break did for Charles was give him a chance to take a breather and slow down, if only for a couple of days. That in the last few days, he's been in great form. He's unfazed by his recent setback, and they're even more excited to get on the road. While in Rome, he's going to do a total of 17 engagements, but with the Vatican visit canceled due to the Pope's own continuing health issues, and plans for Rome have been spread out across 2 days. They've been spread out accordingly because of the king. Love it. I'll cover that for you as it happens. All right, let's move on. All right, next up, this is really cool. Claire Vallis, she is a design group design director. And so she went to Highgrove, where she spent hundreds of hours in the garden listening to the bees and breathing in the scents there while painting and drawing the flowers, plants, and structures. And she did all this research because they're coming out with new fabric collections based on the gardens in Highgrove. Did you guys know that in that garden at Highgrove, they have the carpet garden modeled after two of King Charles's Turkish carpets? And there's the time walk, THYME, that marches out from the back of the house. I had no idea. I mean, I knew it was a beautiful garden, but I didn't realize it was all that. Very nice. Let's move on. All right, you guys, we know that Meghan Markle copied Diana, and later on we found out that she copied Wallis Simpson. I'm not exactly sure what her fascination is with Wallis. We know what it was with Diana. And of course, we've seen all these pictures before where she very obviously copied the outfits that Wallis Simpson was wearing on a lot of events. Well, there was one outfit that I had no idea where it came from. Thank you to whoever on Twitter found this. I don't know who it was. But you see this outfit of Meghan's, where the short shorts? Yeah, she copied that too. All right, let's move on. All right. Meghan, we know, handed out those ridiculous boxes to all of her friends to get them to help put it up on Instagram to help advertise her jelly. She actually sent one to Mindy Kaling. What shocks me is that Mindy Kaling actually took a picture of it and put it up on her Instagram. I'm shocked. Mindy has already admitted she only met this woman twice. Mindy was made a fool of on that Netflix show with Meghan going, I'm Sussex now. And Mindy's already admitted on The View that she doesn't really know Meghan. So I don't understand why she's going all out like this. I just think it's terrible. All right, next up, they are saying that while Harry's case in the Court of Appeals is going to go on in the UK next week, they're saying they don't think that Harry is going to travel there for the case. I don't understand that. It seems to me that if you really want to win, you should show up. You know what I mean? But apparently, no. Guess I'll cover this for you. Next up, I had to cover this. This just doesn't shock me at all. What's being said is that Prince Harry's charity unraveling happened because Meghan took a dislike to Dr. Sophie Chanduka. I have absolutely no problem believing that. I think she's jealous of her. This is a woman with a lot of education who's earned her spot and who's earned everything she has, whereas Meghan, yeah, not really. What we know so far is that Meghan apparently claimed that she would not be attending the polo match fundraiser, and then she showed up with, of all people, Serena Williams. Dr. Sophie said in her interview that this caused a major disruption with her surprise showing up. There was a lot of talk about Meghan and what happened on the stage. I've already shown you that video. I'm not going to show it to you again. People were discussing whether she should have been there or not. Let's be honest, Meghan Markle is not going to pass up a photo opportunity. I don't know why she was the one handing the trophy over. She's absolutely nothing to do with Simpsonville. But since she's basically wormed her way into Invictus and she's wormed her way into everything that belongs to Harry, of course she's going to show up and, try to take over. Anyway, apparently Dr. Chanduka wanted to walk Meghan around and introduce her to other people, sponsors. She's trying to get money for Simpsonville. Apparently, Meghan didn't want to. She went off to drink champagne with Serena Williams and refused to mingle with anybody. She refused to engage with those that were supporting the event, and Sophie found it very rude. Staff working that day were asked to get champagne for Meghan. They're scrambling about. Simpsonville and Archewell staff were both having to do that, and Simpsonville was not happy about it at all. Couple of interesting points here. The other prince, other than putting out the joint statement with Harry, has not said one other word about this mess. Also, from 2015 to 2020, Harry had not visited the charity, had not spoken to the charity, had not spoken about the charity. It wasn't until 2020, when the two of them, Harry and Meghan, stepped back, that Harry made his first public speech to Simpsonville. And Harry seems to be interested in the polo playing, and that's about it. He goes around telling everybody it's his charity, it's my charity. It's not his charity, and that's the problem. Once you've created Simpsonville, it's an entity all on its own. It doesn't belong to him, but that's what he would like you to think. If I were Harry, I would be very, very scared. Dr. Chanduka is whip smart. She's got her ducks in a row, and she wouldn't say all of these things if she didn't have proof of these things. An insider at the charity said that Harry should be nervous because his unpleasant note to the Simpsonville boss will be made public, given he's alienated his family and moved heaven and earth when he believed that Meghan was being bullied. Somebody in the charity said that. Now, Harry, of course, has come out and said the truth will be unveiled by the Charity Commission after the British watchdog launched that investigation into how Simpsonville is being run. But I have a feeling that that investigation is not going to go the way Harry wants, because Simpsonville is the one who asked for the investigation. Simpsonville is the one who's already handed everything over to them and said, please come look at this. Apparently, Harry sent several unpleasant and imperious messages that reinforced the idea that he's used to people being subservient to him. Listen, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how this is going to end, but the charity hopefully will continue, because after all, those are the people that are important, not Harry. For those of you who are doubting that there was a snub, Revealing the Narc actually found some video. Let me show it to you. Look at Meghan looking over and then looking down, because here comes Sophie in the outfit. And did you see Delphine lean over and whisper something to her like, keep walking? Total mean girl behavior. And she was holding her hand. So yes, it's very obvious that Meghan and Delphine were moving away because Dr. Sophie was coming over for a picture with Harry, and she was going off to guzzle champagne. Now, in the middle of all of this, people are talking about who the real victims are, and they are the victims of AIDS and HIV that are being completely overlooked. Camilla Tominey stepped forward with her own thoughts and said, didn't Harry and Meghan use exactly the same tactic when faced with criticism? Because not only did they allege the royal themselves were racist, but those headlines that didn't cast the Duchess in an overwhelming positive light, according to Harry, they were fueled by unconscious bias. Now, Ms. Tominey also said that neither Sophie Chanduka nor Harry and Meghan are the victims here, because the real victims of this unseemly war of words are the AIDS and HIV-afflicted children of Lesotho, who rely on the support of Simpsonville. I love the fact that basically what she said is they've been out-victimed because Harry and Meghan are in no position to decree the fact that we now live in a world where if a woman of color is called out, she is automatically a victim of misogyny. And anyone who disagrees is a racist. Exactly. So yeah, they've been out-victimed. I don't think this is going to end well. I got to be honest. You know, I understand why they're saying Harry is depressed and embarrassed, but I think he's embarrassed because his bad behavior is about to be exposed. These articles where it says he loves his charities and he wants to spend his life doing this, and now one of them is gone, and in the most horrible way, these puff pieces. The People's Princess has famously shook the hand of a man suffering from the disease, and that's why he set this up. Yeah, I'm sure he is depressed because he's about to be blown right the hell out of the water. All right, I have to touch on this as we're coming into the end of the video. Remember, Virginia Giuffre put up this picture and claimed she had 4 days to live, and she's overwhelmed with gratitude in this comment she put out, but she really just wants to see her children. Then, of course, we found out that the police said it was a minor traffic collision and no injuries were reported, no charges were brought against either driver, and the incident was only reported to the police the following day by the bus driver. So this past week, all these opposing accounts and what happened to Virginia Giuffre have swirled. And, you know, this woman, I've told you before, she was caught perjuring. She's changed her story 4 times. When you lie and you're caught in a lie on the stand where you have sworn to tell the truth, I think that you just are no longer trustworthy. But here, where we go. The sad truth behind the photo has been suggested to be linked because her 22-year marriage to Robert Giuffre is going down the toilet. She used to credit her husband for saving her life and giving her the life she always wanted, but now the two of them are in a very toxic split, and she's also separated from her 3 children. What's being reported is that Virginia lives in Australia and her family in the U.S. are very concerned about her welfare, and they're going for the sob story. She's so ashamed she could bring down Epstein and Maxwell, but she couldn't find the strength to leave her unhappy marriage. Another person, though, said she's not very friendly, and if you don't make yourself known here, then it can be very lonely, and she hasn't really joined the community. Just as an FYI, before the car crash, Virginia was charged with breaching a family violence restraining order. Oof. So he's in the house with the kids. She's living 37 miles away in a rental home and putting up things saying that her children are being fed lies. And she's saying, hurt me, abuse me, but don't take my babies. My heart is shattered, blah, blah, blah. We'll have to see how this case goes. But, you know, I told you before there was something wrong with this. All right, let's keep going. And finally, this is one of the dumbest articles I've ever seen. They're saying that Harry is concerned that in order to get the numbers for her new podcast coming up, that she's going to start, leaking information about their sex life. Harry is worried the girl talk will cross into his personal boundaries, so he's apprehensive and nervous. You know what? He should be, because she is going to try to sell sex toys and lingerie. We've already talked about this. He should have chosen his wife better. That's all I can say. All right, you guys, don't forget on my other channel, I've got some new recipes dropping. I think you're really going to like them. Don't forget to go down into the description box after you leave your comments, hit the like and the subscribe button, and then you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Amazon wish list, a link to my father's book, and a link to the other channel, as well as a physical address. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.